Hey guys, the Strong Boys 19 here, and this is going to be the feeling of closing the Iron Maiden discography off with a few more albums for me to review, and this is going to be for the next album after Dance of Death, so we're going to go right into a matter of life and death. So this album was released in 2006. Kevin Shirley did the production for this album, but what's interesting is that Steve did not want the album to be involved with any mastering, so there's no mastering involved. It's just the sound of the record of entire band in the studio, and I find that quite fascinating because I do feel that this is not like compressed, but it's like a rawer and a louder sound than the production of their last record, in my opinion. And the theme this time is heavily based onto the themes on the war and some religion once again. Although this isn't really a concept album, but these inspirations were all over this album from start to finish. I will have to say that this album is definitely one of the better ones in the later half of Maiden's discography ever since Adrian and Bruce returned to the band, and I personally still regard Brave New World as the best of the bunch since the era after Blaze Bayley. The first track, Different World, is an instant catchy track, and the riffs were brilliant, the vocals were perfect, and the delivery was wonderful, and it has been an excellent opener track as it brings back some memories, as that this was one of the very first tracks that I've ever watched and discovered music video wise when I was hearing Iron Maiden for the first time. The second track, These Colours Don't Run, pops in the minor tone of the introduction and continues to the build-up of the song of the whole band playing with the ascending chords in the verses. The structure, unfortunately, sounds very alike to Different World for the most part. As a follow-up, it feels less inspired musically, and the bridge sections sound tight and okay, but this was not a standout or one of the best ones for me. Third track, Brighter Than a Thousand Suns, is for me the weakest song on the entire record. Personally, sounds and feels lackluster from the execution of the instrumentation, and it does go on a bit too long. It feels mindless and forgettable from the delivery, and of course with the repetition that spoils it. The Pilgrim is really underrated to my ears. Beginning of the song comes with a lovely lead parts, and this was a quicker speed. The song was very strong with its melody, and I love the guitar complementing the sound of the vocals were awesome. I highly enjoyed this song, and there were perfect patterns on the playing, and the structure was brilliant from beginning to end. The Longest Day, the song starts out quite intensely, and the vocals were building up the heavy vibe. Then the song progresses with a cool chorus, and Bruce's singing was neat on this one, on the verses, and the sound crushing amount of power, and it's a pretty sweet song with its brooding atmosphere. Out of the Shadows is the slowest track on the record. The lower ranged tone of the singing was really nice, and the acoustic guitars come in on this one, and the sound of it was gorgeous. The chorus was striking. I really like this track as much, plus the lead guitar work was wonderful, and like the rest of the solos on the other tracks on the record. The reincarnation of Benjamin Brieg brings nostalgia for me, as this was the first Maiden track that I've ever heard, and I remember seeing the music video to this one. The introduction was amazing on the sustained notes from the guitars. The mood was creepy on the introduction. Then the whole band comes in after 2 minutes and they're crafting some really great, addicting, rocking riffs. I always think that this track was the highlight, and it is still powerful to my ears, and I would still say that this is the best and most favourite song on the album for me. For the greater good of God, the introduction on delayed bass lines at first, then goes into bigger melodic approach to the musicianship being fantastic. The vocals were changing into various styles, and the aggression was really good from its speed, along with the menacing verses. It is a fantastic song, and it's one of the standouts. Lord of Light opens to a mysterious, quiet vibe on the singing, guitar and the drums, and then the track became fast immediately after that, from the energy to the musicianship, and the vocals were perfect from Bruce's performances. The songwriting was ravenous and glorious with its strength. Then the album closes with The Legacy, really acoustic packed, and the playing was awesome. During the pacing of the song, the sound gets haunting, and then the sound of the band bursts through later on, which sounds great. I really like the vocals to this one, being from gentle to one of Bruce's best in my opinion. Really interesting, and as a closer, stronger track than Journeyman from the last album. I really liked Journeyman, but I think The Legacy is like a dramatic and intense way to close the album off like that. A Matter of Life and Death is a brilliant album, but I would say this is definitely one of the best albums in the later half, as I said, from Maiden's discography. So I'm going to give this album an 8 out of 10. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll keep you guys posted for more videos in the near future.